You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Hi, guys. Welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artieka.
And I am Tommy.
Hi, Tommy.
Hi, Artieka.
And today we are reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 10. That episode is titled Moody Month-iversaries. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and let's get into this review.
Let's do it.
I don't have a particular order, just trying to make sure we go ahead and get through these kind of fast. We're racing against a sleeping baby. So let's start off with Sasha and Nate.
All right.
Stasha has her mom over to talk while they make cookie bars, I think she said.
Yeah.
And they talk about Nate not saying that he loves her. Her mom basically tells her, chill out. It's only been a month.
Yeah.
You don't know him. He don't know you. Even if he tells you that he loves you, do you even know if he means it?
Yeah.
And basically she was like, you have to control everything. Stop feeling like you need to control everything.
Right.
Um she goes over to Mitch and Kristen's apartment and she says that she's going to babysit Luna while they go away for the weekend. Um when Kristen told her you gotta wipe Luna's wrinkle once a day, Stasha looked like she wanted to say, nah, dog, I ain't gonna do
I'm
this no
straight.
more.
I'm good.
Find somebody else to watch your dog. Who had your dog when you went on the honeymoon?
Right.
Call them.
Call them, folks.
And I probably would have kind of felt the same, sadly,
Yeah.
because dogs are already, when you don't have a dog, adding a dog into your routine is already a lot.
Right.
And now you want me to grab your dog aggressively to clean its
To clean
face?
his nose.
No,
Yeah. That's a lot.
that's a no.
Stasha was talking with, just to go back a little bit, she was talking about trust, and the trust issues she has with people.
Mm-hmm.
And her mom was saying she feels like it was her fault because, of the relationship that she was in, like that Stasha seen her
Mm-hmm.
in with folks. And I was like, man, she really has to build that trust and allow that trust to work. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
her mom was telling her about Nate. You have to allow him to trust you and allow that trust to build. I was like, her mom, like for the first time, I thought in this whole season that her mom was telling her some stuff that I would agree with. You know,
I don't really remember anything else her mom has said, to
that's
be honest.
really like her mom talking about to her about his bankruptcy stuff. And, I felt like she was being very negative about that.
I think that was just more so of a, hey,
You,
Stasha,
you need to look out for her.
not even you need to look out, you need to know.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to merge your finances, but I also, like, I would have told, like, okay, my child is not an adult. However, comma, Lily marries a man that I find out has a bankruptcy. Lily and I are going to talk about it.
Yeah. No,
That's
I get it.
just, it
I
is
get
what
it.
it
I
is.
just looked at it as being a negative, but
Yeah, I
it
mean,
is
like,
what
we're
it
going to,
is.
I don't even want to say that it's a negative, like, convert, like, I'm coming at her negatively
Yeah.
about it, but we're going to talk about it. I want to have those type of open lines of communication.
No, I get that.
Um, let's see.
They went to the lawyer.
Oh yeah, so they went ahead and they signed the post nup. I was like, how romantic! At a month, we're going to go sign a
A
post
post
nup.
nup. Yeah.
Um, I'm happy that there were conversations about it. Um, before they signed it, and then also they brought up the conversation about the money aspect, like what
Mm.
goes into a joint account. How does it end up dissolved? Um, that was one thing that I remember. It wasn't a post nup, but it was in a divorce, how will we handle the children that Chance the Rapper did with his wife?
Mm.
And I was like, I like the idea of that because while you're in love, if you plan things, which they're not in love, obviously,
Yeah.
but while you're in love, if you plan things, everything gets to be fair, rather than we're planning it in anger.
Yeah.
And now we don't have any fairness about it because I'm out for self, you're out for self, but when you're together and you can't imagine not
Like,
being
yeah.
together,
it's you look at things a little different.
Yeah, you're like, hey, it's very fair if I give you X amount of dollars a month per child because you got it. And
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, okay, cool. No problem.
yeah.
And they didn't even discuss dollar amounts. They were just like percentages of checks.
Hmm.
Whoever puts in the higher percentage at the end gets to take the higher percentage. So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
um,
It wasn't as weird as I thought it was gonna be, but I did feel like he should have had like I felt like it was her lawyers or
it
her
probably
setting up, and
was.
I was like, he looks like he's. It put me in the mindset of that Robin Givens and Mike Tyson interview where Mike Tyson just sat there.
Mike Tyson was high.
I understand that, but it was like he just sat there and let her dog him like she did.
Have you ever sat and talked to a high person? I know you have.
Yeah.
That's what
No,
happens.
I get that, but
I'm not
it's
saying the dogging part, but like they just kind of sit there
no.
glazed over.
Sometimes you can have a conversation, but um,
Well, I don't know if you
for
tell somebody high on the types of things that he was high on.
no, I haven't. But
That wasn't
it,
weed.
we're not talking about him. We're talking about Nate. But that's how I felt like Nate was just sitting there,
Hmm.
and he was just being like a led puppy. Like, okay, I'm gonna sign this and get this over with without any type of input on it. You know what I'm saying? Which he probably had more input
Then we saw.
than we saw, but that's what it looked like to me. But I'm glad it wasn't as like I was saying, it wasn't as weird as I thought it was going to be when she first brought it up. So
Yeah, but I also feel like Nate is like, I do well for myself. I might not do as great as you,
yeah,
but I do
I'm
well for
comfortable
yeah,
with
I
where
do
I'm at.
well for myself. So I don't need your things.
Yeah,
And if this marriage ends in 4 weeks, I haven't lost
right,
anything.
right.
So
Um, he did say he's fallen in love with her.
oh yeah, on their dinner date, he said he's falling in love and he's like at a 7 out of 8 now. I'm like,
Do you
oh,
believe that?
I don't know what changed from.
Right. It,
Was that last episode
it
or the
was
episode before
it was
that?
the last episode,
So it's been like what, 3 days?
something like that, maybe a week at the most.
I don't.
Right. It's like what happened between then and now that you're like, I'm at a 7 or 8, and that I'm basically in love with. Like he said the right things to her, you know,
Mhm,
because that's what she wanted to hear.
mhm.
But it's like, what puts you there? What gets you there? And that's the thing that we're missing because for us as consumers, it's like all of a sudden. It's not a process that y'all went through. Y'all didn't do anything extra. They didn't even we didn't see them interacting with the dog because that was one of the things he brought up was that she like wants children, want a dog, and he's never seen her.
Oh, he did. He showed Luna humping the little thing
Right. No, but we
and
never
dragging her
seen her
booty.
interaction with Luna and his interaction with Luna together.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like we didn't see those things to make him change his mind about where they at. So it's like that's why it's not believable to me.
Seeing Luna drag her butt across the carpet makes me made me like remember all of the weird things that
Yeah,
dogs do because I
yeah,
haven't had a dog in so long. So that just made me laugh a little bit.
yeah.
It was like, oh, dogs are endearing.
They are. They are.
Also weird, but kids are weird. So,
Yeah, kids are very weird.
um, ended their part of the episode with them getting matching tattoos
Tattoos.
of their wedding date.
I want to do that. I want us to go get tattoos and we like record it.
Okay.
I think that'll be dope
I
to
haven't
kind of
gotten a
see.
tattoo in over a
Man,
decade.
it's been a minute for me too. It's time.
All right. Normally I would try to put the couple with the most drama at the end, but I'm gonna just keep on rolling. Morgan and Ben.
Oh, that was so stupid. Like her whole argument was dumb to me.
I really wish that we knew what was said.
Yeah.
And like Alexis was on after party, and Alexis was like, "It's my fault. I ran my big mouth." You think?
Right. Like it's like first off, Morgan like was Morgan hasn't given this a real fair shot.
Mm-mm.
Let's get that out the way. Like, she has not really tried in this situation because she's like, oh, he did what I asked him not to do,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. The second thing about it is,
Keep talking. I'm gonna get up, but keep talking.
okay, the second thing about it is that she actually did not, like, told him to basically say, don't talk to anybody about our relationship, but their relationship, like, everybody does that. Like, if I have an issue with something or somebody or something, or something you done, I'm going to try to figure out how to do it. And then on top of everything else, Ben can't talk to her about it. Like, that was the biggest hurdle that he had. He has an issue, and then he can't talk to her about it, but he don't want basically she don't want him to talk about their issues. And I'm like, well, that's what people do. Like, if you don't have an outlet to figure out an issue, like me personally, I'm a person of, I used to watch House.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a great show, by the way. But like, this how I figured out how I actually do things, because I always ask, "What's your thoughts about this? What's your thoughts about that?" But I have my plan. You know what I'm saying? I have my thought about it, but I want to hear somebody else's opinion because maybe their opinion is a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at it. When I have issues with you, I have my circle of friends that, like, hey, this is what I'm going through. Have you guys dealt with this before?
I
Like, I don't get deep into she was doing this, and like, it's a point where I stop at, but
I remember on After Party. Did you watch After Party?
nah, I did.
So Alexis said on After Party that what Morgan wanted was for Ben to not talk to someone within the process if he needed to vent.
Mhm.
He wanted him to, like, call your homeboy. Don't talk to Justin.
Yeah,
Call your homeboy. Don't talk to Miguel.
yeah.
And that was her issue.
Because he was talking to a person that was actually going through the thing that he was going through and trying to figure out how to fix it.
Yeah. I'm not saying that her logic wasn't flawed at all. I'm just letting you know what
Yeah, that's
was said.
silly to me, man.
What does it say? Morgan is looking for a reason to make this not work. She is so closed off. I think she has some serious emotional stuff to work out before she can be with someone. She would have found another reason. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Um,
That's exactly what I was thinking when I was watching this. Cause I was like, Ben, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was like, Ben is sitting there, like, he understands what's going on and what she said and why she's feeling the way, but he's like, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's, I have to, like, we have an issue
Right.
that we have not worked through, and you're not allowing me to work through it.
And every time he tried to respond, she cut him off because
Yeah,
she doesn't want to hear what he has to say, because in her mind, everything that he says is going to be a lie. We started off this season with her and a lie, and now he has a lie.
yeah. But he, like, I even look past these lies that they're telling because it's like it's a protection thing for him. Like, no, I didn't.
Hers was a protection thing for her
Right.
because she's like presenting herself as I got it all together.
Yeah.
And he's presenting himself as, I mean, it was just one conversation.
Yeah. But and then also with Ben, I'm starting to realize Ben don't really know how to be in a relationship.
Mm-mm.
From the part of the affection part, when he was like, "Oh, I'll YouTube that," to understanding where he is in the relationship now.
But it's also what you see.
Right.
And if he didn't see a lot of affection growing up and
Right.
all of those things, you kind of don't
Yeah.
think to do those things.
Exactly.
Um, Morgan and this temper tantrum of throwing down these flowers.
Oh man.
I was
Right.
like, what did these roses do to you?
Roses didn't do anything.
Did not do a thing to you. You was just big mad.
Man, but you, like, do you not feel bad for Ben?
I do. Ben did a lot of soul searching, apparently, within himself about like finding like realizing that he was a people pleaser and
Mhm.
then coming to her about those things. And she was just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then he talks to someone who is going to be emotionally vulnerable with him, which is Justin, because
At this point, they're friends.
Justin is very emotionally vulnerable
Yeah.
in general,
Yeah.
friend or not.
Yeah.
Um, and then after you get it all out, like have your release, Justin's wife is like, girl, he was talking about you. And now you got to explain. I just needed somebody to talk to. I shouldn't have talked to him, but I needed somebody to talk
But
to.
it's like I don't. I guess that's the part I'm missing. It's like I don't understand why he can't talk to his friend Justin, who's going through the same process, who's having like similar issues. That hey, we're trying to figure this thing all out together. That's why they have like in the beginning they didn't do the honeymoons together. They didn't do all this group stuff together. Like them folks like didn't meet each other for a very long time.
Right.
And so it's like for them to actually design the program to like, okay, you guys are all signed up to do this, all five couples, six couples. Um, here's a group effort, you know. Here's the thing, you know somebody that's going through the same process as you. It's designed to talk to the other people. Like they sit around and say, "Hey, are you guys having sex?" You talk about all these things, but then you can't talk about your issues.
I think that what it is she knows that she's an irrational person, right?
Yeah,
And if
it's a look.
if Ben tells Justin, Justin's gonna tell Alexis. And then if Ben tells Miguel, Miguel is gonna tell Lindy. And then if Lindy and Alexis know, they're gonna have a side conversation. Everybody's gonna be talking about me.
But
That's what I think.
but yeah, that's what it is for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Um,
What's to say? Morgan has been mad since Ben had COVID and she set him up with the BSN issue. Absolutely. I I don't get like she was mad. She actually accused him of lying about having COVID. Like you can't like you don't have a COVID test to prove that you have
yeah,
COVID.
yeah,
Monique said, I really miss when the couples didn't mingle with each other, just focused on their marriages. I like the mingling. I think that we've been mingling a little bit much. And the reason I say that is because like they're all in an apartment building together. And so their mingling is like a whole bunch of off camera mingling
yeah.
too. So it's
Well, I personally, I like the mingling. I wish it was more of the natural mingling. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Like
the
naturally,
rooftop stuff that we don't get to see.
right? Like if like how in the last season, O and Mark's wife,
Lindsay.
Lindsay, how they like claimed that they were tight, and we saw them that one time on the bench. Like I want to see things like that because there's not like you can see the development of true friendship, and you
Mhm,
can understand that like how we saw Ben and Justin out playing basketball with each other.
mhm.
Like let's see that interaction because that makes more sense because you're more sensible, you're more apt to talk to a person about what's going on if it's just you and that person. And then you're more apt to say, hey, let's go out as a couple, you know,
Yeah.
and you guys, it's more, sensible that way. But,
My
um,
goodness. I still have my headache.
uh, but it's, I like the co-mingling and everything in the groups, I just would like to see more of the individual thing.
Yeah. Um wrap them up. Production made her go back and sit down and have a conversation with him. He owned up to talking to
Yeah,
Justin. Um
that was so stupid.
Still don't know what was said. Still don't know if she figured out if she truly knows what was said or if it was an Alexis exaggerated version or if it was actually like what was truly said or if she even was just overreacting about what was said.
I personally think she just overreacted about the whole process
It's very
from the
possible.
jump, and it was doomed from the jump.
Uh-huh. He asked a great question. So, are we gonna continue trying to make this work to go to his decision day, or what are we doing?
Yeah, because at this point, it's a sense of him wasting his time or not.
Right. And I fully get it. And she didn't know how to answer that question.
Yeah.
She's just like, we're going to talk to the experts. I'm like, yeah, you are going to talk to the experts because you're contractually obligated to. Let's not make it seem like this was your decision to do this.
Like that's it, and that's the thing. It's like you didn't practice what the expert told you to practice.
Correct.
Like he spent so much time trying to get back on your good graces. Like half y'all time is spent like basically with him in the doghouse. Like that don't
Hmm.
make sense.
What did Karen say? Morgan was hateful. She has issues. She does. And she let us in with a small glimpse of her issues when she was like, I cut my daddy off and I'm never talking to him again. And basically ain't nothing cut that be off.
Okay. Who's next, man?
Oh, I didn't say the saddest part was him going back to the hotel room and looking at this box of stuff. And
Oh,
then he was
yeah.
just like, I'm going home.
Yeah.
I was like,
Justin needed some water too when he not Justin, but Ben
mm-hmm,
when he was talking to
production.
Morgan. Kyle was like, man, just wipe that. Somebody tell him to wipe that white stuff off his mouth, man. He hungry.
He's hungry. Okay, Justin and Alexis are up next. Justin went fishing with his brother, and Alexis had drinks with one of her friends. She tells her friend that marriage is draining. She says she doesn't he that Justin doesn't know how to collect himself to figure out his emotions, and she finds herself trying to self-regulate his collecting of himself. And I'm like, maybe that is more of a you issue than a Justin issue.
Nah, I think that was just an issue.
Him not being able to collect himself. I think
Yeah.
that some of it is her. And I say that because I'm going to fast forward to the dinner scene. What I felt like Justin was saying in that moment was, oh, you miss who always got something to say, don't
Don't
have
have anything
anything
to
to
say.
say.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, no, I don't have anything to say. Now you're pushing it. And it's like, you always got something to say. It is shocking to him that you don't have anything to say.
Like
It's shocking to me.
the parts because I wasn't able to like really watch that part thoroughly, but the parts that I did see, I was like, as a married man,
Mhm.
let it go.
Mhm.
If she don't have anything to say, she just doesn't have anything to say. Move past it. Talk about that later.
No, I get that part of it. But I also understood like internally where he was coming from.
Like that, and that's the thing for me. It's like don't internalize that because it's silly
Mhm.
because if you have something to say, as Justin, if Justin has something to say, speak up.
Mhm.
He's looking at it as, oh no, I've done something wrong, or it's something that he's done, reason why she is not this, reason why she is not that. And that's another one of those rookie mistakes that I feel like he's just been making and making and making.
Mhm.
Just because it's like if she doesn't have anything to say, could possibly mean she has a lot to say, but just don't know how to verbalize it. And you trying to sit up here and force her to verbalize something she don't know how to verbalize,
Mhm.
it's just bad for everybody.
Oh no, I completely agree with that whole premise.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, I
You
also
get
get,
where Justin was
yeah, I
coming
get
from.
where he's
Yeah.
coming from. Miss, I got something to say all the time, has nothing to
Has
say.
absolutely nothing to
That is
say.
really
And
that's
shocking. No, I
crazy.
get that.
Um, let me see. Going back, they didn't look through their book like everybody else did. They scrapbooked their photos and made it into something for themselves. During that conversation, Justin did tell her that he felt like it was too late to fix everything that was wrong. And I felt like the with me was in parentheses.
Yeah.
Like, I need to fix what's wrong with me, not the issues of our relationship, because I haven't felt like Alexis has said that she has done anything wrong. And there's one big glaring thing that I can point out that she does wrong. When things get tough, she runs.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big issue.
Right, right.
Um, yeah, okay, Justin is
Emotional.
emotionally immature. He has these outbursts. He has all these other things.
That's what
Okay,
he was
cool.
telling his brother, that he has these emotional outbursts that he doesn't know how to
Control.
control. Okay.
And that he essentially he doesn't know how to take a moment, figure out what he's trying to say. He has to get it all out and work through it
Mm-hmm.
while he's talking to her. And
That's what I be doing on here.
I was about to
somebody
get
somebody called me out on it one time.
I was about to get to that. Like, you should be able to come to a conclusion with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have it all figured out to make the point.
Right. And that's the thing with understanding like where he's making his mistakes. Just in general, it's like you get up, somebody asks you a question and you get up and start talking and you're trying to find it. You know what I'm saying? But know your answer. It could be
Well, sometimes you don't know
it could
your
be 2 or
answer.
3 words, it could be a whole paragraph, it could be 500-page essay. But
She don't want the 500-page
nobody
essay.
does. But that may just as well be the only way that you can get to your
Somewhere,
idea.
somewhere there's a woman that will take his 500-page
Yeah.
essay.
But most people don't want to hear. They want to summarize it.
I get that, but sometimes you have to work through your thoughts.
Man, my stomach is over here
It
growling. When we
is. I
finish,
wasn't gonna
when we
say
finish
anything.
this, man, we gotta eat.
Miss Tillman 79 said Justin and his crying. I have no issue with a man crying, but he cries every episode and every time he's on After Party, they need to call it quits. Justin is emotional. Justin has to find a woman that is able to accept his emotions and be okay with his emotions. Tommy is not a crier by any means, but Tommy is a person that emotes. Like, I know how you're feeling all the time.
What?
You cannot hide how you're feeling.
What?
You didn't know that about
No,
yourself? Oh my
no. I learn
goodness.
something new every day.
Wow. Hubert said Morgan is an abusive, toxic woman who needs to be removed from the show. I'm gonna be honest with you. If they removed every toxic person, we wouldn't have a show.
Yeah,
That's the sad
we wouldn't
part.
watch it.
Not probably still watch, but it just wouldn't give us much to talk about.
Yeah. Um. But no, like I don't like the idea that Justin's ready to hang up his boots with this relationship. But I do think that there's more work to be done in the sense of understanding the relationship and what it means, and then also understanding his partner on both sides.
Mhm.
Because going back to the dinner table, that was blown out of proportion on both sides. Like she only reacted to him trying to force her to say something and force her not saying something to mean something about him.
Mhm.
It literally could have meant I am at a loss for words.
Initially, I thought her not wanting to say anything was because of the faces that she was making when he was talking about the growth in Mitch.
Yeah,
I felt like she was saying, Mitch ain't changed. But
yeah,
then she was like, I have nothing to say. And he was like, not even about our relationship. She's like, I have nothing to say. And I'm
yeah,
like, that can make you feel like
yeah.
you got something that you want to
You
say about
right,
me.
right.
Um, yeah. Basically, she said she needed a break at the dinner table. She felt like she needs to coddle him. And
Who went to the bathroom with her?
Stasha.
Okay.
I think Stasha and one of the producers, but I definitely saw Stasha get up
Yeah.
and walk out. I don't know if Nate left.
Nah, Nate was still at the table.
Okay.
No, the only person, because Nate really don't fool with Justin like that.
Nate doesn't fool with any of them but his wife.
Yeah. Um.
Like, he did not come to this show to make friends. He
Yeah.
came to get married, and if the marriage don't work, bye. See y'all later. We not gonna take guys trips together just to
Yeah.
kick it.
Yeah. Just to hang out.
Him and Mitch are like islands.
Right. They are. And it's funny because they don't hang out with each other.
Would you hang out with them?
I wouldn't hang out with Mitch. Nate, I probably kick it with him, have a drink or something.
Perhaps.
Um, yeah, like I didn't have much to write about there.
Great. Kristen and Mitch. Um, so Kristen talks to her friend about I almost said the
Yeah,
wrong word.
yeah.
Mitch being negative about her flipping homes.
Take your time. Whoa there.
I did. I was putting Mitch and Bing together, and it was gonna be what Tommy be wanting to call Mitch. Um, she says she's worried that her parents won't like Mitch because how he treats her at times, and I'm like, yeah, they watch this show, they probably gonna feel away, especially about the flipping homes thing.
Mhm.
Um, will you go get him,
Yeah.
or do you want me? You can talk, and I'll go get him.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
baby's waking up.
What was you saying?
Flipping homes.
Oh, yeah. So she so she was basically saying that her dream of flipping homes, he was like not with it. Like he wanted her to change her dream and stuff. Like, but Kristen has really lost herself. This is where the part where I just go off on a tangent. Kristen has lost herself in this whole marriage. And that was the point I've been making for the last few weeks about her, basically not being a participant or giving us or giving Mitch what he wants in a wife and not requesting or requiring him to be a certain way in being a husband. I think um what she was saying to her friend, I'm not sure she's committed to being a great wife. I really don't understand what that looks like or what that is, but that's what the commitment she made to them. And it's weird because it's like, how do you define a great wife? You and what determines that? Is it your husband? Is it you? Is it the people around you? Like, what does that look like? And for her to make a commitment to that, is that helpful for their marriage? You know what I'm saying? So it's weird that she brings it up, but she also recognizes that she's lost in this marriage. It's not about their marriage, it's about her pleasing him and not requiring anything from her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And or not requiring, or her not requiring anything from him, but to be there, to be a body,
Right.
and I think that's completely unfair.
Mitch is the most complaining, protesting man I've ever met in my life. And you know what? He finally saw himself for that on the after party. He was like, I made the shirt thing way too big of a deal. The flipping houses thing, I come off like wrong. Like I hammer the wrong things in. And I'm like, thank God you finally got
He's
to see
mature
yourself
enough
on
to,
TV.
yeah, he's mature enough to recognize, okay, that was wrong. But in the moment,
Yeah, in the moment he didn't know, but how many months after they finished rapping
exactly.
did this revelation come? But I'm happy that he did at least see it and gets it.
I ain't write a lot of notes about this. She was conflicted because she feels like he's trying to change her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
He is.
he is. Like, straight up, he's trying to conform her to be a female version of him.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna do this, we're not gonna do that. I'm complaining about X, Y, and Z.
You know what? Weird thing that I thought about was like when she was talking to Sasha about picking up the dog's poop. I was like, I wonder did he change the poop bags?
Because they're plastic.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're paper.
No, they're plastic.
They're plastic.
Mm-hmm. I
I
was like,
don't
I
know.
wonder if he changed those. And that was just a random thought.
That is a random thought, but it makes you think.
It does.
That's funny.
Um, so they go to that retreat, they do yoga together. They get their box with their vows and their wedding photos in it. And she cries when she sees how happy she was, or how happy her dad was at the wedding.
Yeah.
And as he's reading his vows, he realizes that he could do a better job of keeping up with his vows.
Mhm.
That's pretty much all I had for them.
Last thing I wanted to say was I can appreciate how when at the dinner table with the group
Oh yeah, I forgot about dinner.
and she was like, I'm going to snap
Mm-hmm.
if she done if she has to be basically walk on eggshells.
Mm-hmm.
she's going to snap, and how he was like, "No, go ahead, say what you feel."
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very mature on his part, and then also him being able to receive what she's saying
Mm-hmm.
is another big thing. So I think he's moving in the right direction. He just needs to hone it in. Hopefully he does hone it in, because that's her telling him, I want to be myself, but I can't because I have to please you in a certain way. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I got from that. So who's next?
Last but not least is Lindy and Miguel. So they're going on a boat for their month anniversary, and
I wrote one thing about them.
he said he wants to join the Nautical Mile High
Mhm.
Club, or did she say that?
I don't know, but
One of them said it.
I said they planning to have sex on the boat.
It was too cold
It's definitely
because
too
that
cold.
boat didn't have like a.
And then it started raining.
I don't think that boat had to like go down
Nah, it
internal
looked like
water. It
they
was
just
just a
had,
regular
yeah.
boat, and I was like, "We
They ain't
nope,
finna do nothing on that.
not on that one. Try again later."
Man.
Um, they go through their wedding. Oh no, they saw a wedding while they were on the boat, and they basically talk about how normal people don't marry strangers. I was like, I'm happy that y'all know y'all aren't normal. They get their 1 month box, and they're looking through the box, and Miguel feels like Lindy is being very negative because she's pointing out things in all of the photos as awkward or
Yeah,
whatever, and he was like, I think these pictures are beautiful.
yeah.
Like,
Stop being so negative.
yeah. One of my favorite pastimes with our wedding photos is going through and pointing out people's facial expressions
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
background. Like not the posed people, but
yeah.
just like the people that are in the background of the photo, like people standing to the side trying not to be in it, but they're really in the picture.
Yeah.
We got great shots of my sister like that, and I randomly sent her pictures of
Oh,
herself
that's
from the wedding
hilarious.
because she makes the most faces in
That's
our
it.
wedding photos of everybody. Um, Basically they sit down, they talk about his vows and how committed he is to the process, and they're just happy. Even when they got to dinner, they were like the couple that didn't feel like they needed to like air out anything negatively.
Yeah,
Lindy was like, he's an amazing man. The D is good. We're great. We're working towards things.
mm.
This is the most adult relationship I've ever been in. And I was like, all right.
I don't know. I'm still looking at them like funny, just because I feel like, I don't want to say they're being fake, but I just feel like I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. Something don't seem right in that situation. So in my eyes, but I really didn't have a lot to say or
They didn't give
about
us a
them.
lot this episode to make us feel like we needed to talk about them
Yeah. So
extensively.
um,
So what were your thoughts on this episode as a whole?
as a whole, um I think it was a solid episode. I think the the couples are now making, like, it's starting to set in with them about them getting ready to make this decision day coming up and stuff like that. I think it's kind of starting to turn that corner now. And so I honestly think Morgan and Ben have mm, I don't want to say it's over, but it's pretty much,
It's done.
it's definitely an uphill battle for them. I think
It's done when Nate has to get involved and it's like, why are you being so hostile?
that was for next week's,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Do we even know he was talking to her?
The camera pans her. She was the only person I feel like had hostility, and everybody in the room looked at her and then looked at Ben.
Yeah.
So I have to assume that that's what that was
Ben,
about.
like, I feel so bad for Ben, because it's a sense of him not knowing,
Mm-hmm.
and then also a sense of him trying.
Mm-hmm.
And he's had to work the hardest to even remotely come close to, any type of satisfaction in this relationship.
What's it say? I totally agree. Mitch did a good job receiving what Kristen said. I'm interested to see how they end up. Lindy saying he hasn't seen her worse. Miguel was like, yikes.
That's what it was. It was like she hadn't presented her works yet, and that is a yikes part.
Mm-hmm. 'Cause
Um,
you yelled at me about health
right, about
insurance.
health insurance, and you got past that. But I don't know. I think it was a good episode. I was glad to see Nate and Stasha kind of move forward in whatever they were moving forward in. I'm really rooting for them. Um, and Justin and Alexis, I I think they're a good couple, but it's just Justin is so emotional. I think that's gonna overtake them actually being successful.
On After Party, Keisha said every one of these couples has something that's so small that if they just like inched one way,
Yeah,
like you could be like, oh, they could work out. Like one person or both people just need to do one thing
yeah,
less or one thing
more,
more,
yeah,
and they could move positively in the right direction. And for Justin and Alexis, I definitely think that he just needs to be a little less emotional.
yeah,
And for Alexis, she just needs to stop running.
yeah.
Like stand in it, like have the conversation, figure out where you were wrong in this, where he was wrong in this, and then come to
Agreement,
an
yeah,
agreement.
yeah. No, I'm with you.
But that is pretty much it. I didn't write anything else, I don't believe, unless it was at the dinner scene and I can't decipher what I wrote. Um, I got nothing else for this. Sorry we are late on this week's podcast episode. Life been lifing. We're gonna try to get that recorded today and put up. It might actually be alive too when
Oh,
the
okay.
children take naps
Oh, okay. All
or
right.
go to bed for the night, one or the other. Um, I feel like I don't have to rush through saying this now that he's awake and down
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
If you guys haven't, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, share it with somebody else. Let's see. Monique said this was great. I'm going to go watch the episode now. Thank you, Monique.
right.
I actually do like going live on Saturday mornings because I feel like we don't have to rush it. Maybe we'll do something Saturday mornings. Maybe not necessarily married at first sight videos, but
Maybe
we'll see how that
we'll see how it
goes
goes.
because we're both naturally awake on Saturday mornings now
Yeah.
early. Tommy just gets up at the butt crack of dawn with Jesus.
Well, that's when he wakes me up. I
I'm
should
not
obey.
gonna complain. That's just when it happens.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see y'all later for the podcast and on tomorrow with Jack and Glenn.
Yeah.
All
Make
right.
sure to go check out previous podcasts. Our last one was very good.
Oh yeah,
With
the
Talisa.
episode with Talisa, and we're working with Talisa to get a part two. I want to do the part two live
That'll be
so that
cool.
we can like
Like
get real
interacting, yeah,
questions.
and stuff like that. So that'll be dope. Um, yeah. So go check out our stuff, our content. I built a desk and I'm working on that video, or not a desk, a buffet. Working on that video, so learn how to do that. Um,
Oh yeah, Tommy was out here working.
yeah. So love you guys, appreciate you guys, and we're out. Peace.
Bye y'all.